take my harness out real quick. Let's film this. What we're going to start with is debone the chicken. So these are chicken thighs. We're just going to remove the bone like that. Pretty straightforward. There's going to be some meat left here, but we're actually not going to discard this. We're going to keep it for now, and we are going to store it and then freeze it, and then next time we make a soup or a broth, we can use those bones to add extra flavor and build the broth. So that's basically how you debone a chicken thigh. There's also usually going to be a little bit of a bone here, or cartilage. I think that's a bone, which you do want to remove because it's a little bit gross right here. And once again, we can keep that without necessarily discarding it. So that's one thigh that's ready, and then we're going to do 3 more because this will serve basically 2 servings, and I want to have 2 thighs per serving, so we're going to go with 4 thighs in total. So you want to basically cut alongside the bone right here, along the bone here. You want to make a deep incision. Sort of rotate the bone as you go along. And your knife should be able to slide underneath it like this. You can kind of hack it down. And once again, I am trying to get as little meat on the bone as possible, but at the same time it's not too critical because whatever meat is left on the bone, it's still going to be cooking in whatever soup we end up making, so it doesn't really matter. And here you might have noticed I did that just now, but there's a little bit of a chunk of skin here that hangs off of the meat, so we want to discard that as well. And then same thing here, you can reuse that later on to simply fry on its own. Frying chicken skin's actually quite nice. Yeah, here we go. So this will be a 3rd thigh. You know what? Let's just do 3 thighs actually. Or should we do a whole kilo thighs? I'm honestly not sure at this point. By the way, 1 pack of these is 1 kilo of thighs. And as you can see here, there are 5 of these thighs. So each thigh will be 200 grams. 200 grams of meat is, of course, plenty enough. But so what we can do is actually naturally 3 thighs will then be what, 600 grams, which if we use that for 2 servings, then that's 300 grams per serving, which is already good enough if you thinking protein wise. So we might just do 3 thighs here. And we picked 3 of the bigger ones. So that's definitely going to be just above 600. It's good. Once again, let's discard of his skin. Not discard of it, put it one side. Over here, done. So that's our chicken thighs, pretty much done. And here you can tell that it's obviously not very even. This bit right here is a lot thicker than this bit, and then the middle bit, so it's not going to cook evenly. So what we want to do is we want to hammer it in place, and well, what we call tenderizing it. Basically what you're looking to do is even the meat out, and I do not have one of those hammers. So what we're going to do instead is grab a little saucepan as such. We're going to put some whatever we have, parchment paper. Actually this can work quite well. Let's use some of this, and it's transparent, so you'll get to see me pounding the meat as well. Wink wink. Go. Okay, so piece of foil or whatever you call this, plastic wrap. Then this is going to be noisy, so I'll probably turn the volume. Ooh, just dropped the knife there. That is dangerous. What we'll do is we'll hit the meat with the back of this saucepan. I might lower the volume now. There we go. And now it's a lot more level, as you can see. And that's also now going to develop a beautiful crust when we do fry it, which will be our next step. Let's do that right now. So here I've got a cast iron. This is not a cast iron, sorry. This is stainless steel. You don't have to use a stainless steel, just use whatever pan we have, but I wanted something that's quite large because we're going to be putting our meat and then making our sauce and then making, well, not making the pasta in there, but that's where we're going to assemble everything. Before you just put these on, we also want to season them. So here I'm just going to do salt and pepper. Obviously I'm going to have more seasoning later on the sauce, and then the sauce will be, you know, with the chicken, so not too bothered. I just want the chicken by itself to not be bland. So we're going to salt and pepper the chicken, rub it in, and turn these bad boys around. Get the other side as well. Here, I'm gonna use the other hand. And I actually need to crack the pepper, which means I need to wash both my hands. There you go. Make sure you always wash your hands when handling raw meat. This looks a bit grim on the camera, but who cares? Okay, here we're gonna start with skin first. So just heat it up a little bit. You can hear it. Here we go. That's 2. The skin's already kind of sticking already, but that's fine. And that's 3. And we're going to throw in the little bits and bobs of chicken over here. And here. And then we're just going to let that cook for a bit. In the meantime, we want to start prepping our veg. So I usually like to put a little bit of fairy liquid. And then wash the board a little bit. get all the meat out and then actually scrub it a little bit with warm water, which helps kill bacteria, I think. But don't quote me on this. There you go. Now we have a clean board. And of course we also want to have a clean knife. So same thing here, warm water, a little bit of dish soap, disinfect it. Should be good to go. Alright, how's the chicken doing? Doing very well. Perfect. Let's just let the crust develop. In the meantime, let's get started on some fragrances, I guess. So we're gonna start with a little bit of garlic. Here I'm doing 4 cloves. You can do as many as you like. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. I feel like 4 cloves is a safe amount. It won't be too garlicky, but it won't be, you know, it won't be like 2 garlics for 2 portions would just be 2 cloves would just be too little, in my opinion. I think 4 is a good amount. That's 2 per portion. And Asians love cooking with garlic, so there you go. In our case, we're making a sauce, so we do want the garlic to be quite fine. So that should be enough. Yes, it is a bit uneven, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest. We're not at a restaurant, so there you go. Pop that over here. Done. Then I have a half onion here. A full onion would work as well, but I already have 1/2 here and I want to use it. And a whole onion and a half would be a little bit too much, I feel. So ideally, I think we'd do like an onion, but half an onion is also fine. Obviously, you can adjust this depending on how you like your onion. And in our case, we're gonna once again dice it. We're doing this. This is a technique I saw on YouTube by Gordon Ramsay, I think. So you end up with nice little dices. There you go. That's fast. And it's all pretty much the same. I can hear our chicken making a lot of noise right now. So we're gonna have to take a look at it. Let's grab our tongue. Lower it. Ooh. A little bit sticky. There we are. Beautiful. It's obviously not cooked yet, but the skin is crispy. That's exactly what we're looking for. Here we can actually put a lid on top. It doesn't really matter, but I feel like it'll help the pan retain its heat, and basically everything that's happening inside there will sort of steam, and the meat will cook more quickly on the inside. So that'll help with the process a little bit more. Okay, so here we have our fragrances. Now we want to also cut up our ingredients for the sauce itself. And here we're going to be doing mushrooms and leeks. Just because that's what I feel like doing. And you will notice I'm also using 2 different kinds of mushrooms. These are chestnut mushrooms, the ones I'm cutting here. And we also have close cup white mushrooms. You could use the same ones, obviously. In this case, I just had a few chestnut mushrooms left, and I wanted to finish using them. At the same time, I wanted to use close cup white mushrooms, so I bought them as well. And these are, I think, a little bit harder, sort of a little bit tougher than the white mushrooms, so it'll add another another sort of consistency, which I think will be very nice. I'm never sure how to unpack these, but I just do it this way. There we go. Let's use another bowl for the mushrooms. Let's use this bowl. There we go. Alright. Want to wash these too? Oop. I like having quite a few mushrooms. Should be good. Ooh, that should be good enough. Alright, let's start hacking. Boom, boom, boom. These will reduce like crazy in the pan once you get the sauce started. I'm not sure what this sauce is called. I'm pretty sure mushroom sauce is a mushroom sauce. There might be sort of an Alfredo vibe in here, but then with the leek, we're adding like a whole other kind of fragrance. But I really love mixing leek and creme fraiche or double cream. I think that makes a beautiful sauce. And when you pair it with chicken and then you put all that on top of rice, it is beautiful. That might be one of my next recipes. There you go. So that's our mushroom. Let's check on our chicken real quick. Whew, steamy. Yeah, you can already tell that's way better. This is a piece that was very plain just now. Ideally, if you had a thermometer, you'd probably use it at this point to try to measure the internal temperature of the chicken. I can't remember what you usually try to get it at. Like 165 or something. But I do not have a thermometer, so we're just doing stuff. Going with the flow, I guess. You want to wash your leek properly. You want to take some of these sort of leaves out and wash in between them, because that's where a lot of dirt can accumulate. And then we're just going to give this a rough chop. I don't really want to use this bit right now. And I don't want to use a bottom bit either. But we are going to use whatever's left. So, all this. A bit too tough, this bit. But let's cut this as well. Oh, spilling it all over the place. I think we're pretty much good. just slice some of these in half. So it's either to disintegrate. There we go. That's good. Happy with that. Okay. So I reckon at this point our chicken's probably ready. So I'm gonna pull it aside first, let it rest on a plate. In the meantime, we're gonna get started on our sauce and our pasta, and then everything will come together in about 12 minutes or so. And it should taste fantastic, and we'll just combine everything. Gotta make sure we get all the chicken out. There you go. Sure, we'll actually save a little bit of the sauce for the chicken to not dry out and sort of reabsorb. But we definitely want to leave some in there. Pasta. Let's get the water boiling. So we already used our kettle. So as soon as we put the heat on with the water, it should start boiling very quickly. Here we go. We also want to salt our water. There we go. Okay, I think we're in a good spot right now. Let's get our pasta ready. And we can actually get started on this small fire for the sauce. So I'm gonna pull my olive oil out. There you go. White wine could actually be really good to deglaze the pan later on. I'll have to check if I have any. I don't think I do. I'm gonna start with our garlic and onion. By the way, I'm not following any recipe. This is pretty much my first time making this, I think. But as it goes with cooking, you just do whatever makes sense to you. To me, it makes sense to start it this way. As soon as this water gets boiling, I'm gonna add the pasta and then shift it over to this side while I build the sauce. Since this is quite fine, we don't really want it to burn, of course. So we're actually gonna add a bit more olive oil. There we go. And I do want to have a little taste of this chicken. Yeah, wow. Literally salt and pepper on chicken thighs is fantastic. I'm also going to do some cleaning up now because I have a little bit of time before everything heats up. But you do want to stir this occasionally because you don't want the... Ooh, it smells good. You don't want the onion and the garlic to start burning. Cleaning up. So I was telling you just now about this trick where you keep the skin and the bones in the freezer so that you can use the bones for broth. Oh, I just literally tore this apart. That's annoying. But we're fine. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. There we go. One. Skin. A little bit harder to open. Skin goes here. Bam, bam, chicken wham. Make sure it's sealed properly. And then these can go back in the freezer. And just boil them out whenever you want to make a broth or whatever. Now we want to check on our stuff again. And yeah, it's starting to brown. but not burn. Smells amazing. Okay, so that's actually a good time to start throwing in the rest of our veg. There we go. And then we'll throw in our leeks as well. I'm gonna pause it right here. I need to check something. Alright, we're back. I actually just had a 30-minute meeting at work, but I've just started reheating some stuff up, so we should be pretty much at the stage where I left you guys. Sorry about that. But hopefully this will be fine from your experience. So we have what, 500, this is 1 kilo of pasta. Let's do 250 grams for 2 portions, maybe. Oh yeah, maybe a bit more. Doesn't really matter. Let's just throw it in. Probably got around 250, yeah. And let's put that over here while we work a little bit more on this sauce. Okay, this really needs to start building. And we're gonna season this as well. Salt. I've also cleaned up the kitchen a tiny bit. This will get the vegetables sweating because salt pulls moisture, as you already know. And we might even put a lid on this, to be honest. Yeah, let's put a lid on it. Put a lid on it. Move this around. Let me check my work messages. Okay, we're good. Now I actually kind of want to cut this chicken open. So here what you want to do is find the fattest piece of chicken. Here I'd say it's this one. And there's just cut here. And if it's cooked, then theoretically the rest of the chicken should be cooked, because we just opened up the thickest part. Let's try it as well. Fucking hell. Salt, pepper, and olive oil goes a long way. Okay, let's start cleaning up even more. This is the trick when cooking at home. A lot of people complain about, there's so much stuff to clean. Well, yeah, but if you get started whilst you're cooking, because there's quite a bit of waiting involved in between letting stuff get up to a temperature, letting stuff cook, you actually have time to clean, I'd say 80% of what you use, especially if you're efficient. So I'm still going to use this, probably to cut this. We're done with the mushrooms and the leek. So let's put those back in the fridge. There we go. Still going to use this. I think I might actually slice the chicken here. And this is looking fantabulous now. There we go. Just get the water on the boil again. And this can sort of simmer. Let's get the chicken in there too. So let's do strips of the chicken. Strips of the chicken, rather than chicken strips. There you go. This is what happens when you cook from home. Just end up eating like half the meal before it's even ready. Anyways, how are you guys? Did you reply? I hope you did. I will be severely disappointed. Anyways, just chop this shit up. Get all of this back here. Oh, that was dangerous. And then let's get it back on the plate. That's because where all the juices are. There we go. Always wash your hands. Now the water's boiling. That's good. The sauce is forming. Yeah, this smells good. Okay, and I think we can actually chuck the chicken in. Sorry about this, I keep receiving messages. So I'm going to check my phone again. Okay. Just handling some work stuff. You know how it is. And then we can actually, well, I hope you know how it is. If you don't, then I wish you the best. If you're still studying, then that's cool. Enjoy that. If you're supposed to have a job, then yeah, I hope you find one. You do be tough out there. Just added this bad boy sauce. This is looking juicy. There we go. It's time to switch them over again. By the way, if you haven't noticed yet, this fire is a lot stronger than this one. And so just about managing temperatures and having stuff cook at the right time. Here I want to start sort of thickening the sauce by reducing it in a higher fire, in a stronger fire. Okay, so that's done. The plate, let's give it a quick wash. Not before we ensure that we get every single last drop of oil in there. Perfect. Let's give this a quick wash. And we're almost ready here. So I'm actually gonna just let this cook and do like 5 minutes of work because the pasta probably has 5 more minutes. And I'm also gonna charge my camera phone real quick because that's where I'm recording, and I'll get back in touch with you in about 5 minutes. See ya. Right, baby, we're back. It's been about 5 minutes. Ooh, oh my god, this is brown at the bottom, but it is smelling so nice. And the pasta looks basically ready. Let's try it out. Best way to do that, in my opinion, is to grab a fork. If it's spinning, you just grab it like this. Hop on over to the sink. Blast it with cold water. Have a taste. I'd say it needs about another minute in there before it's al dente. And yeah, I'm actually gonna start scraping the bottom, and you can tell it actually it's not really hard on the pan. Like, you can remove it pretty easily. And that bottom is full of flavor. What we're also gonna have to do is give it a little taste. Want to make sure it's seasoned properly because we didn't really add anything after the double cream. So let's try that. Fucking hell. Okay, this is crazy good. Okay, pasta should be ready as well. So let's drain it up. I actually want to save some of the pasta water, so I'm gonna drain it over this. There we go. You can do this in batches. Add the first batch. Start mixing it a bit. It's good. Move on to the second batch. You probably already know this, but the reason why you want to save pasta water instead of regular water is pasta water has more starch from the pasta that's been cooking in there. You'll tell that it's a little bit more glossy, it's a little bit thicker. And if you add pasta water to a sauce like this, it's gonna get more watery, but it's still gonna give it sort of the thick, glossy, coaty feeling. Whereas if you were to just add water from the tap, the sauce wouldn't really adhere to the pasta. But whenever you add pasta water, it still has enough sort of texture for the pasta to combine to the sauce. So this looks really good. Well, it doesn't look as good on camera, but I can tell you right now, this is gonna be bussing. We can actually kill the heat here. And so the pasta water was seasoned with water, obviously not with pepper. So naturally we can season the rest of this with more pepper. And I like my pasta with a lot of pepper, so I'm gonna put quite a bit. I'm actually gonna be adding some chili flakes too. No, I'm not. Yeah, we don't need to. And this would be a great pasta dish with some Parmigiano or Reggiano as well. Or, as the scrubs call it, some Parmesan cheese. Okay, that was a bit disrespectful. I went like full on American on you guys. I don't think we're actually going to need the pasta water. Just gonna let it soak on the side, and we are gonna grab a pasta plate. So over here. And now we can plate this. Here we're gonna use a little ladle, I guess. The flavors are coming out of my mouth. Or whatever that kid says. Mate, this is absolutely criminal. There you go. Absolutely beautiful. Put a lid on there. Put this on here. Look at this. It doesn't look that great right now. I'm gonna need to freshen it up a bit. Ideally, I'd have, I don't know, some parsley or something. The only herb I have is coriander. And look how wilted it is. So I'm just gonna use a tiny bit of herbs that are still good. And this is purely gonna be decorative because, you know, half of the YouTube video is basically the thumbnail and the title. And this looks way too bland. So I'm gonna throw in some stuff on it. Make sure we use the best leaves. Something like that. Sure. And now we've gone from a 4 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10. Wow. Now let's bring this bee out. Pardon the mess. I have alcoholic flatmates. There you go, there you go, there you go. Just put this all away. Let's remove these shoes out of the shot. And there is our pasta. Right, well, as a quick outro, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I hope this was helpful. I don't know, this probably took around 40 minutes or something. I expected it to be shorter, but there was quite a bit of different elements to it. Cooking the chicken first, then making the sauce along with the pasta, and then assembling everything together. Anyways, this looks really good. I'm gonna give it a quick test, but it should be fantastic. Yeah, no, this is incredible. Genuinely, so good. This was 2 portions. I'm gonna estimate it's probably gonna be around whatever 50 grams of protein probably, or no, even more, maybe even 60, 70. And for a portion like this, 1 kilo of chicken was like 2 pounds. So this is probably gonna be, I don't know, 1 pound 50 or some crazy stuff. And it's a big portion. There's a few veg. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you. See ya. Bye.